That is good. Welcome to August's reading wrap up. This month was pretty good, you know. I read 11 books and a whole mishmash of situations. I'm just gonna let you know what I read, what I rated it, what I thought about it. It's a reading wrap up. It's easy peasy. It's my first YouTube one, so bear with. The first thing I read this month was Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. I'm making a start on the old Percy Jackson series. I rated this at 5 stars. This book was so good. It was so fun. Percy has like the worst luck ever, so he's always got to go on these quests. There's always big monsters after him. First one, obviously everyone's probably seen the film. I love the film with Logan Lerman. It is so good, and this book is even better. The storyline is different and I love it. Obviously books are always better than the films, but yeah, 5 stars. Really love this one. After the success of the first one, I did pick up the second one, Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. I only rated this one 3 stars. I don't know what it was about it. It was just a bit slow. I didn't think the story was as good or well thought out, and I thought that one of the main characters from this one, and he wasn't really in this book as much, he was a missing link. Like, he is so funny, he's such a good character, so you really felt it without it. This one was only 3 stars, and I've got to say, this put me in a little bit of a slump. It took me like 10 days to finish, which it's 264 pages, and it took me like 10 days to finish. So I just was not as enthralled as the first one. So I've still got the other 3 to read, and I really want to read them before the new show comes out. So that is my mission for sort of September, October. And I will get through them. I'll get through them, I know. After that, I was like, I need a little Kindle Unlimited romance to like whet the appetite, get me back into it. I started the Indigo Ridge series by Daphne Perry because I'd seen loads of people on TikTok, YouTube, like raving about this series. I feel bad because I just did not love it as much as a lot of other people did. The first one is called Indigo Ridge. I rated this one 3 stars. It's a murder mystery romance at its core. The main character, she's a policewoman. That's just not my vibe, like, at all. I didn't really gel with it, so I don't know, I found a really hard time getting into it. They're really short, so they're like quick reads, but I also think that's a flaw because that made it feel underdeveloped, and I just felt like we needed more. I needed more of the story for it to feel complete. The romance element was cute, it was just basically everything else that I was not a fan of. I did persevere though, because I did pick up the second book, which was Juniper Hill. Sort of single mum trope, woman in need, grumpy, sort of grumpy sunshine vibe. Like, there's a lot of that going on, like helpless grumpy man, doesn't ever date anyone, comes to the rescue situation. I gave it 3.5 stars because, do you know what? It was cute, it was lovely, but again, it just didn't hit. I just don't think I gel with these stories. It was quite short, so I think the whole thing felt a bit rushed. I think we could have easily had 100 pages more worth of story and it would have completed it. I also think this series, for me, because I've read this after Chestnut Spring series, nothing's going to compete with that, and nothing is ever going to compare to Reckless, especially for like pregnancy, single parent trope. It's just, nothing will ever beat that book. So I think you've got to work hard to actually pull through on this scale for me, and Juniper Hill just did not do it. On the 21st of August, I think it was, one of my most anticipated reads of the summer came out, and that was Pucking Wild by Emily Raff. I loved her first book, Pucking Around. This one, I was really upset. This one just did not hit. It didn't come anywhere close to how amazing and like life-changing Pucking Around was for me. I rated it 3 stars. It's a sports romance, so hockey romance. It's an age gap, but everyone calls it reverse age gap, but I don't really believe that's a thing because it's age gap. But the woman is older than Ryan, sweet baby angel Ryan. He is 22 and Tess is 33. I just did not like Tess at all. She just came across, although she was meant to be the older character, she just came across as so selfish and immature. The whole book was basically just about her problems, her trauma. It was a dual POV book, but you rarely saw anything of the backstory of Ryan, who's obviously got all his own trauma. And I was like, I just wanted to hear about little baby Ryan because he is a cutie. Some of the things I did love about it, there was a lot of airtime from the previous characters from Pucking Around, which I think is probably what bumped it up a little bit. If they hadn't been in it as much, I don't think it would have been nearly as good of a read for me. I love a good smut as much as the next girl, but you know when you just like read a scene and it just feels really oddly placed, they end up doing something like really like dirty. It felt like it should have been a sweet moment, or they were like just in the middle of a really heartfelt conversation and then the next second they've got their clothes off. It felt like that, and it just felt just like it didn't fit, like she was trying hard to make it a really smutty book when in reality the story was way more heartfelt and deep than. It didn't perform like it should have. I've got a lot of opinions on this. I didn't think I would, but for a 650 page book dedicated to one couple, it was too many pages for not enough story for weirdly placed smut. In a month where I'd said I was going to read a lot of more physical than Kindle, I really hit it up with the Kindle, because the next one, this is a crowd favourite, and I can't believe it's taken me so long to read it. It's The Right Move by Liz Tomford. Oh, this book, 5 stars, 5 literal billion gajillion stars. It ripped me apart, put me back together, ripped me apart again. So good, so good. So it's another sports romance. It's the interconnected sequel of Mile High. Oh, it's just so good. Follows basketball player Ryan and Indy, who is air stewardess. She's going through a hard time. She needs somewhere to live. It's false proximity because she moves in with Ryan. Combust. They're in love. They're just so sweet together. Ryan's like very quiet love. He just does all this stuff for Indy just to like show that he cares about her. Really try and fight their feelings, but in the end you can't fight destiny, and they just come together. And it's just bloody beautiful. I don't even know how to talk about it because it's just perfect. There's not a single thing wrong with it. Oh, I just love it. Here's where it really went insane. On the 28th, I picked up the rest of the Shatter Me series to finish. Boy, is that a wild ride. Knocked my socks off because this series is so good. I don't know why I didn't carry it on last year. I read the first book like a year ago, rated it 5 stars. I don't even know why I didn't bother picking up the rest. I literally have no idea. I couldn't even tell you. I picked up Unravel Me on a whim. Man, this was 5 stars. All I wrote on my Goodreads review was, I need help. And I do need help because this was just, oh, I don't even know. Fantastic. There's just so much drama. There's romance. There's angst, there's comedy. Kenji is literally my soulmate. I love him so much. I think I read it in one day. Got all these silly little novellas, which they're fine, but you don't really need them. So I read Fracture Me, which was the 2.5 novella. That was 3 stars. It was a bit pointless for the first 50% because you're just getting a rehash of everything you've learned in Unravel Me. Book number 3 is Ignite Me. This book, again, unreal. I gave it 5 stars. This is Aaron and Kenji's world and we're literally just fucking living in it. This is the drama-filled epic ending of this one. And this was drama-filled already. But this is like the culmination of every plan that sort of come together in Unravel Me. This is where it comes to head. It honestly does. Juliet is a big fucking slay in this book. Character development from her from Shatter Me to this book is unreal. She's giving I'm a god vibes in this. I'm here for it. It was so good. I think I read this in a day. I was home alone all week, so I literally had nothing else to do from when I finished work to when I went to sleep. I was obsessed. I'm obsessed. Restore Me. I don't even know. She has filled them all with crack, basically. This one was 4.5 stars because the first half was just a bit of a rehash of what had happened in the series so far. A bit of nothing. But then from like here onward, chaos ensued. And then the plot twists at the end, they had me in a chokehold. Quite honestly, I was shook to my core by these. These are given 2015 dystopian era. And I'm fucking here for it because this is exactly what I needed. A quick, easy read. I ended the month with Shadow Me, which is the 4.5 novella. That was in Kenji's POV. Gave it 4 stars. It was basically the retelling of the end of Restore Me, but from Kenji's POV, which is quite cool actually, because Juliet is quite an unreliable narrator because she's just fucking in her head. So it's cool to see the events in another POV, plus like it all kicks off. My favourite book of the month was probably The Right Move by Liz Tomford. It was just so perfect. That was probably my favourite, and I'm so excited. Caught Up is coming out in October, which is single parent nanny, which is like one of the best tropes. It's funny because in real life, it's gonna sound really bad, I would never go for a single dad. I'm not ready to be a mother yet, but like I lap up these single parent books. I just think it's quite hilarious. That was everything that I read in August. I hope you enjoyed watching. This was my first video for YouTube BookTube, so I was a bit scared. I'm not sure how it's gonna go, but if you enjoyed, please subscribe.